It's LaDonna Raeh on the LaDonna Raeh Show. We're getting ready for our next guest. So, before I give you the next guest's name, I know you know who it is because it's all over the flyer and the social media and stuff that we put out there. But I'm going to give him a little time to get online with us. Now, earlier, everybody's talking about Cat Williams and what Cat Williams had to say and putting people on blast. And, he has great respect for certain individuals. Did you catch that? Like, I thought that it was such a honor if you were those few people, I think it was like 3 of them, that he was like, nope, he's great. Nope, he's cool. But, it takes a lot because you have to understand that even when you are in the same industry as an individual, they are still watching you. They are watching you. Everything that you do is important. So if you are being less than an integrity having individual, people are going to see that, and they'll never forget it. And then when it comes time to speak, then that's what they're going to say about you. So, my hat goes off to many people, but Cat Williams is one of them. And yesterday I did mention that he is now on my list of people that I truly, truly adore because I got a chance to see who he was and not who I thought he was. So thank you. Wow, this hair is not playing nice tonight. Okay, so as we get ready for our guests, please be sure to call into the show. We've got a live call-in number. It's 312-357-5141. If you want to talk to our guests, it makes it more fun, more interesting when you can have a live conversation with them. We appreciate you embracing the LaDonna Raeh Show because we've gotten more subscriptions in the past couple of weeks. So I'm just really thankful about that, Oh, thank you. I'm really thankful or really grateful with that. What is this hair? It's one hair it goes right in my mouth. Okay, so and we can't do this without you because I literally like get up and get stuff done for you. I want my guests to feel comfortable. I want this to be a safe space. I want them to really, truly feel welcome. And it takes a lot. So if you look at like my old shows, you'll see where I think I was sounding more like Oprah or somebody who thought they were sounding like Oprah. Everything was, So tell me, what is it like being, who you are? People were like, man, get that mess out of here. I even look back at it and go, man, get that mess out of here. And a person, a true dear friend of mine told me, where's this LaDonna? Y'all know who I'm talking about, Rick Party. And he said, where's this LaDonna? This LaDonna, I wouldn't mind listening to. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, you're boring on the radio. And I was like, wow, thanks. Maybe, okay. But he was right, because I look back at those recordings and tapings and I was, I wasn't having fun. I just wasn't having fun. So when my people come on the show, I want them to have fun. I don't want them to feel like they have to be a certain way on here. Hey, if you want to talk about whatever, talk about it. Okay. I will listen. I will applaud you. I'm going to find the goodness in you. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to do all of that. Right. But, before is like in the past. I can't do that any longer. I can't. So, what's it like eating an ice cream cone in the summer? Man, get that mess out of here. I'm still saying it. So here's the deal. I want you to make sure you subscribe to the show. We're going to be putting out shows each and every week. And I know you probably saw me put out a show probably each and every day, but that won't last always, I'm sure, because there'll be times when I take off. But each and every week, we will have someone on that you can relate to. I'm interested in having people come on here and talk about relationships, human trafficking, fighting the urge to get back on drugs. Because we have Danny Robinson is coming on later on this month, and he just opened up a drug treatment center. I want to have people on that are heads of organizations that reach out to the community and bring the awareness to things like cervical cancer, okay, prostate cancer, HIV and AIDS, all of those things, none of that went away just because the year changed or, someone is no longer speaking on it. Those things are still around. So I want to make sure that we have people on like that. And then those young people that are pushing through their circumstances and still able to get good grades or get accepted into college. Like we just had Ashley Davis on last week. She is a she is a young student that is a senior in high school, and she just recently got accepted into NIU in a program that she really wanted to get into, which was music theory. I'm so freaking proud of her. And I know she's going to do well because she's got a amazing support system. And I also want to have people on that are able to talk about parenting, because parenting, people always think they can do it just because they had children, or just because you tell your kids what to do when they do it or they don't do it, you beat the mess out of them. That's not always the answer. So I want to have some diversity in raising children so that people can get some ideas. People can get some ideas from watching this show. And there's a plethora of people out there that do things. I used to, excuse me, I used to interview celebrities a lot. I'm going to be honest with you, they got so boring because you got to stay within the confines of what their publicist says you can talk about. So there was a time when I interviewed Dionne Warwick. We were celebrating her 50th anniversary CD that she had just dropped. Okay, I feel like this was back in 2014, 15, somewhere in there. And her publicist got on and said, you can't talk about The Apprentice. You can't talk about, our guest is here, by the way. You can't talk about the Psychic Network, and you can't talk about Whitney Houston. Now, if I had a bleep button, I would tell you what I was thinking. What the are we going to talk about then? That was my thing. Like, what are we going to talk about if I can't talk about those things? So, yeah, there's that part. So we're going to get ready and bring on our guest. Let's see if I can get him up here. I think you all paid attention to what was going on. Here we go. All right. Let me get my intro together. Got to get let me get it together here. You guys have been waiting for this. I've told you time and time again. I said, next week, we've got a very special guest from Chicago, comedian, world renowned. Yes, I gave him that. Yep. Producer, writer, actor, family man. And sometimes he's a comedian. I want y'all to give it up for my main man, B. Cole. Da, 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 da. That's what I'm talking about. We normally have the applause. They're kind of late with it today. B, what's happening?
LaDonna Raeh, what's happening? I'm great. What's going on? How are you doing? Congratulations on your show. Looking great. Everything's beautiful, all colorful, lit up. I love it.
Thank you so much. Man, only for you, B, only for you, I remember when we first met, I was hosting poetry at some cafe in Calumet City, and you showed up.
Oh yeah, I love poetry. That's another, thing I do. That's why I'm in love with the crackhead poem came from, just the poetry scene.
Yeah.
I started that on the poetry scene, not comedy clubs, nothing. So I really
miss it.
I really tried to keep that with poetry, but I accidentally did it on BET Comic View, and it became something else.
Yeah, that's your signature. It's like I was just telling illusionist David Sharif just right before this show. I was telling him, I said, I remember telling a young lady, man, you look good for your age. And she was like, man, so do you. And I was like, you look, black don't crack as long as you don't do crack. And she was like, and girl, I did it for 20 some years. And I was like, okay, I'll never say that again. But you have the poem. You had the whole poem, I'm in love with a crackhead. And do you remember when you and I performed as if it was like we were this fake couple and we had the stage all red? It was crazy, man. I was like,
Yeah, I remember we were co-hosts, like,
Yeah.
and we were good hosts together, you know.
Yeah, we were. We were. And
Yeah,
then you
we were like the first AJ and Free
what happened, B?
from
Why you
from
left me
106 in
behind?
Park.
You left me
I
behind.
don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. A lot of great hosts don't excel further than what it is, but AJ and Free was the host. Then Roxy and Terrence, but you
Yeah.
had LaDonna and B.
We back. We
We
back.
back. Here we are, right here.
Well, tell us about your journey because I know people have really been paying attention to you, especially when I saw you in the cookout with my cousin. Okay.
Well, what?
What?
No, not the cookout.
Oh, not the
Listen, I
cookout. What was it
always
called? I
my
always say
movie,
that.
yeah, my movie always get mistaken for the cookout. I
What
guess
was
because they came out the same year.
okay? What was it
But my
called?
movie, yeah, my movie's A Get Together.
The Get Together. Doggone it. I messed it up. I'm
Yeah, A
sorry.
Get Together.
Yes, a Get Together. But either way, my
Yeah.
cousin was in there with you. Shout out to Marlon Mitchell, okay? But
Oh yeah,
when I
that's my
saw it, I
buddy.
was like, this is some good ish.
Thank
I mean, it was
you.
well written, well shot, well lit. It was
Yeah,
funny, and it was from Chicago, and it was your
yeah,
piece.
yeah. We were the first ones to shoot an independent comedy film here in Chicago. Um, we were the first ones to use the HD Sony cameras, the first digital cameras at that time. So yeah, it was a first for a lot that we that was the first time we shot a movie or a movie was shot in HD.
Yeah,
So it was a good experience. But you know, it's coming up on this 20-year anniversary.
yeah.
Well, this year we're celebrating this 20-year anniversary, and we've done a director's cut. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, so we've done a director's cut. The new version is so good because I didn't have anything to do with editing 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I received, yeah, so maybe 2 summers ago, I received all the footage and I went through it, and there was so much stuff left out that I was
Hmm.
like, yo, I got to do a recut. And then it's coming up on this 20th anniversary, so this is the perfect timing for it. And we've just been invited to do the screening for the director's cut in Martha's Vineyard this August at the Comedy Festival.
Oh my goodness. I mean, this is just a man. I'm not even shocked.
Yeah. So
I'm not even shocked. Yeah.
it's just timing. That's all. You know, it's like, I'm very patient with everything,
Yeah.
and that's the route I've taken my whole career, just the long route. It's a longer route, but you come out better, feeling good about your accomplishments, once you
Yeah.
get them done.
Yeah.
Doing it your way.
Yeah. And so, speaking of doing it your way, I know that everybody's talking about the Cat Williams interview and what happened with Diddy and now they
Yeah.
bringing up what happened with R. Kelly, all that stuff. But in comedy, how when I know you watched it, am I right? Did you watch the
Of
Cat Williams?
course.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
The world watch. I was
yeah.
part of that 30 million views. I was one of them in there.
Yeah, I was three of them. Okay, so, three times. But in watching something like that and being on the comedy circuit and being a comedian yourself, did some of that resonate with you? Like I know you've been through it because it's been over 20 years for you. So did some
Yeah.
of that resonate for you?
100%.
Hmm.
And Cat got 100% support from the people. The thing is, even in the comedy industry, the comedy community, what Cat was saying that the comedy community already knew of. But
Hmm.
Cat just like he left the village and went on the mountaintop and told the world. So it was really good for someone like me to have a voice now because a lot of comedians got them stories. And the thing is, I've been holding on to stories for the past 3 decades, but the thing is, I never wanted to come off as bitter, jealous,
Hmm.
or because I'm not at a level to speak. They look at me like, well, shit, you just saying that because
Right.
he trying to get on to get clout and all that. But I'm glad Cat did it. A person who doesn't need any clout, who really had no reason to do. He could have just minded his business and still been living, but I'm glad he did it. He did it for the little people. You know what I'm saying? For us to have a voice now,
And not just
because
because
I'm
he's
ready to tell my
5 foot
story.
5. You didn't mean little people like
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, and like I said, so I'm ready to speak my truth
Mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
on platforms and all, and it's a lot that a lot of people don't know that what I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I've been blackballed from the industry early in the '90s,
Yeah.
because I was the first one in Chicago to go to LA to do Comic View, BET's Comic View. I've been invited to do that, and it was exciting to do. And but over the years and the years that I've been invited to come back and do it, you start seeing a lot of changes, and you start wondering, and like, yo, it's like I feel like I'm being used now, because nothing's changed from the very first time I've done it, and they demand a lot more out of you to come do the continued seasons. Um, I had BT forced to go union. That was my thing. I protested Comic View and boycotted where they were first forced to go union.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
because
Yeah.
when we first started, comedians weren't getting anything but $150, and you had to bring yourself in and put yourself up, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and that was Comic View, and so when you first do it, you're excited. Okay, cool, I'm about to be on television, but then you do it the next year after that, then it's still that $150, and then you got to put yourself up and get yourself there. Now
Was that
here I am.
was that for both black comics and white comics?
That's for any comic who performed on BET's Comic View. It doesn't matter who it was. You
Okay.
you saw
Okay.
you saw Cedric the Entertainer, Don
Yeah.
DC Curry,
Yeah.
some more.
Yeah.
Everybody got the same pay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, unless you were the host. If you became the host, then maybe your pay went up. But
Okay.
that was the budget. Your benefit was to get on television to get that exposure and capitalize on that. That I know. But the thing is just when I started making complaints, because now here I am. This is probably like my fourth or fifth season coming to do this, and now I'm more angry when I'm there because I
Uh-huh.
just spent $700 on a one-way flight, and I'm sleeping in my car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sleeping in the rental car that I just rented at the airport because I got no place to stay because all my money went into my travel, basically. So you kind of living hard while you're filming this show. So once I started making complaints and everything, now I'm becoming this troublemaker guy, because not only because of the pay, because now they starting to make some changes. They start hiring models to be the audience members, and when you have models in the audience, that's a lot of fakeness. No one really wants to laugh and be seen on television giving a true gut busting laughter. Because when people really laugh, they can give that ugly laugh. And models was trying to be on TV, be pretty and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
that made it hard and brought different energy into the comedy, into the show while you're performing on television. And then once the models weren't laughing, now you have the editors of the production, they want to start adding crickets to the comedians. I don't know if you remember when Comic View started adding crickets when a
I
joke didn't go over or it didn't get a laugh, the editor will put crickets inside the
Yeah,
performance.
I did not
And
understand that. I thought that was part of the agreed performance. No?
no, no, like comics didn't have no idea what they were going to do in post production. So once it aired, and then if you got crickets, that kind of ruined your career right there, because here you are, you can be booked for a show
Right.
somewhere,
Right.
and once you're seen on television with them crickets, the promoter just snatch you right off the show.
Right. Because
Because
it
who wants to
shows
pay?
that you couldn't make them laugh.
Exactly,
Wow.
on national television. So when Comic View start playing them games, I'm like, okay, it's now you guys are really doing something where your compensation isn't matching now, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because I don't care how much you pay now, is nothing you could pay me to perform and you have control of my set where you can, make that decision of what you may think that's not funny, and you put crickets on my set, and now I'm just ruined reputation around the country that I'm not funny. Fortunately, I didn't get the crickets. That was great. They couldn't give me the crickets because I made sure when I went on there, I made sure that I did great, magnificent. In Chicago comedians, that's just how we are. We relentless with the comedy. So Comic View started running. When they started moving around the country, people didn't notice, but they were moving around the country because Comic View became a fugitive. They were running from the union.
Oh.
Yeah. So when they were young, when the union approached them in L.A., they packed up and moved down south to Atlanta.
Where
And
they could
then
get away from it.
Yeah, but then they got caught down there in Atlanta. Then they ran to a couple of more cities. I know they did Detroit before they ended all the way down in New Orleans.
So they
And when
made
they
it
got
look
to New
like they were on
Orleans,
tour. They've made it look like they were touring different cities.
of course, yeah, that's how they gonna make it. But they were on the run, And then when here it is, they finally got caught. I think in year maybe 2000 or 1999, one of those, they got caught, and then now they had to start paying comedians $1,300 and pay for all accommodations. So yeah, they were mad, and they were mad they had to do that and come up with that budget to do the series now. And I think that series lasted maybe 2 more seasons after that before they pulled the plug. But comedians don't even know that I sacrificed my career for them to have that type of pay, because a lot of comedians got on there at that time and received that money and were taken care of. Yeah. But they didn't invite me. Once that happened, I wasn't invited, and
No, heck
therefore
no.
by me not being invited to Comic View, then I come to realize that these are the same production companies that's doing P. Diddy Bad Boys of Comedy. They didn't invite me there. Martin Lawrence First Amendment, I wasn't invited to that. So it was just a lot of other shows that was going on. Jamie Foxx Laugh-A-Palooza, I wasn't invited to that. So when my name came up in the room, it was just like automatically, discarded.
Wow. So be
Yeah,
cold was like be clear. No.
exactly. A
Wow.
straight be clear. Yeah, so that's how it
Man.
was. Yeah, and like I said, I've went on and just did my own thing, and like I said, just no one ever known that story. People always like, whatever happened to Be Cold, but that's what
Right.
happened to Be Cold.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. Right here on the LaDonna Raeh Show. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I never told that story, but that's how it
Yeah.
is. Like I said, now I feel comfortable on speaking a lot.
Right.
Now, Cat really opened the bag with that.
Wow. And you know something, it's really sad that we worry about what people might think, and you know your intention. Your intention is to tell the story so that people will be aware. But there's this subconscious that says, well, you don't want people to think that you just trying to capitalize, or you just trying
Yeah.
to, you struggling, so now you trying to, and it's like, when do we get past that? It seems like we only get past that once we make it. When we make it, can't nobody say nothing but, well, actually, somebody did say something to me about Cat Williams. They said, look, this is where everybody gets paid. Because with Cat Williams coming forward, it's a whole lot of people that's about to get paid. The people that he
Hmm.
implicated are going to get paid
Yeah.
to tell their side now. The people that,
Absolutely.
it's so many twists and benefits to him coming forward. And now other comics are going to feel comfortable or more comfortable coming forward. The thing with P. Diddy, with the young lady that I'm just tired of saying her name, but with her suing him, and then other allegations came forward. The whole Me Too. Now I don't really care for the Me Too movement. Yes, women hate
Yeah.
me, okay, because I feel like R. Kelly should be free and there should be no Me Too movement. But with the Me Too movement, one person comes forward, one whistleblower, and then everybody's like, well, me too. Some of those Me Too's are not real, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
in the industry, Because I had this talk with even my own children. I got 4 boys, and I'm like, look, you don't want to be part of a Me Too movement. You don't want people to come forward and say that you had your way with them. You have to be careful with what you decide to do in life, especially when it comes
Yeah.
to women. Okay, I'm sorry, women don't like me. I don't care. But with the comedy industry or the entertainment industry, it is just that way. Like the idea that
Yeah.
somebody can blackball. So back then it was called blackball. Now it's called what? Cancel. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Cancel
It's
culture now.
cancel culture. And who are you to
Yeah.
cancel me as in the culture? Who are you?
Yeah. And they go way back to find something that can't with stuff you've done when people weren't even born.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're canceling you, and they wasn't even born during that time. They'd just go dig up some old footage and stuff and just pin that on you.
And
But yeah,
repurpose it
it's
and edit it and make it look
yeah.
like, yeah.
It's a different world right now for everything, especially with the entertainment industry. Hollywood now is just different. You know, the whole veil is being pulled off where you can actually see behind the curtain and see who's behind there pulling the strings and everything. Just like with Taraji Henson right now.
Ooh, I'm
She's
praying
shocking
for her.
everybody by her pay grade and yeah, this is Taraji. She's been in everything and done everything, and for her not to be getting compensated well for that, and I get that because there's a lot of actors out there who you would think that's getting well compensated, but they're not.
Yeah.
But like she said, she has a team, and if she got a team of members, everybody's getting the cut. She's the last person to see any money
Yeah.
before it
I
gets to
mean,
her.
I do know that even after Empire, she let her whole team go because there was no follow up or follow through after Empire. Like she should have been way more busy after Empire was the
Hmm.
last season. So she cut everybody. But to hear her break it down in mathematical elements, some people that are working every day are making more than a Taraji per year.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy. Like I'm giving
I
you my
know.
life for 5 months out of the year where I have to get a babysitter because she has a child. I have to get a babysitter. I have to get tutors. I have to still pay my mortgage. I still got to do this and that and transportation, and makeup, hair, and my team. And and
Yeah,
you want to give me the low ball, and then Uncle Sam takes half of that, and he didn't even do any work to get it. And now I got to pay my team out of the based on the whole amount. That'll make you lose faith in Hollywood, especially as a Black actress. Okay.
yeah.
And it's unfortunate. But for you, what say you? You've heard all of this, you've experienced all of this. Do you still have faith in Hollywood?
I'm sorry, no. I lost faith in Hollywood early in my career. That's why I started becoming an independent filmmaker. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I do everything without Hollywood. Like now, when I was in Hollywood, I was young. When I went to Hollywood, I was 19, 20 years old when I first done television. I was 20.
Mm-hmm.
But Hollywood, they really have their eye on you when you're young. They want you when you're young, saying talented,
And look
energetic.
at
So it's like, that's where they
and
start. They
gullible.
start there. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Real, not fully developed, mature and everything. So that's when they want you. They got you because they know you really seeking this dream and you really want it. So they have what you want. So once the offers and everything come, when everything is presented for you, you got to make that decision. Like, yo, if this the route I want to go, and I decided not to take that route. Like I said, I've been in meetings where you know it was weird. Like when Cat Williams said that Harvey Weinstein wanted to suck his penis and said that
Mm-hmm.
in front of his
Mm-hmm.
whole team. That's true. That's how they do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want to know how bad. They don't waste no time to see how bad you want it. Once you there, they're going to come at you right there like, yo, you want it or not,
Right.
And if you say no, then that's it. Then, now across all of Hollywood, every agent, everybody knows that you're not a player and you're
And
not
here's
going
the
to play.
sad part. The people around that could hear these invitations don't say a word. They don't even break character. Because
No,
if
because
you make a face, you will be kicked out.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they want to continue working. They don't care who's the next client they have to represent.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to keep their job. So, so like when they probably felt when Cat refused that, or when you refuse it,
They
it's a
probably
letdown for them because
right.
they all rooting on you to get your penis sucked. Like, man, get your penis sucked.
Yeah.
Get it sucked, man. We need this job,
Right. Go ahead
So,
and go
so
ahead and
even if
pull it out. Yeah.
yeah, so it's a lot of people who was surrounded me who was surrounded around me in the '90s to be my team of workers, because that's what they do too. They put a team around you. They get rid of your friends back at home, your entourage you came up with, and they start
Mm-hmm.
placing these plants around you, and these are your handlers or caretakers, whatever they call it. But that's your group now,
And they
and
and they
that group.
also they also groom you into believing that you can trust them.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. This it's all manipulation there. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because they'll do it until it's time for them to execute you and let you go. And they
Mm-hmm.
will do it.
Mm-hmm.
So once I saw what they did with Bill Cosby, not taking anything away from Bill Cosby crimes or stuff that he may done
And he
to
sent those
abuse
girls to
people.
college. Quit playing. Go ahead.
But my thing is they had control of that man all the way up until the age he was, and was able to, do that to him. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, if Hollywood got that much control on me where they can wait till I'm damn near 80 years old and then pull the rug from underneath me, I don't want that type of power over me.
Right.
Because the thing is, what Bill Cosby do, what P. Diddy do, all of them do it. Everybody does it,
Right.
but it's somebody they got to sacrifice. Like, okay, this year, who we got to sacrifice? Because somebody got to get in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yo, we all do it, but it's only going to be one light on one person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's how they do it. They choose whoever time is up to do that. And your time can be up just by running your mouth, or it may be something the public doesn't even know why they want to get rid of you, but they're going to put out their own story, what it's about, but it can be something even deeper than that, or probably something even minor where they're exposing you now, like the whole thing. Bill Cosby really was trying to buy a network. I know
Mm-hmm.
people joke about it and put that into their little jokes about buying networks now. Everybody who get caught, everybody was buying a network. They said R. Kelly was trying to buy Nickelodeon and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but no,
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby was actually trying to buy NBC, and they didn't want that, they didn't want any
It
more
seems
different
that they don't want
worlds.
any blacks to own any networks. So for instance, BET put out the whole we're selling, and you got Tyler Perry and Byron Allen offering to do this. And no matter what
Right.
price they presented, they didn't want to accept it. But then a Chinese guy or Asian descent, sorry, came behind them when they weren't even selling, and they're considering it.
See, and what's bad about that, because they don't want no black people in that type of power to you know what I'm saying, to share, to change the narrative of a lot of things. Like with Bill
Mm-hmm.
Cosby, we all know Bill Cosby history on putting out positive images of families and
Mm-hmm.
kids in school, and we had all that with Bill. When Bill was around doing his thing,
Yeah.
and Spike Lee doing the movies, everybody wanted to go to college, everybody
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have be family oriented, the whole nine, everything. It was just so much positivity, but they had to change that.
Yeah.
And if anybody get a network and put all those type of programs on, because that's what it is, it's programming, and they
Yeah.
want to program you. And if they're going to program us to do well and be powerful in our own culture, in our own right as a race, then the higher ups are definitely going to cut that down
Well, and we
by
might
all
just
by any means.
right, we might just wake up and realize how beautiful and smart and powerful we really are. We just might, and they just can't have that. We got to stay in our
Yeah, but
places.
now when
Yeah.
you wake right, so now the majority is so much of what they've been pushing, the agendas they've been pushing. So now when
Mhm.
you do wake up, is
Mhm.
very few of us wake up. And when you
Mhm.
wake up, now we're considered looking crazy because we're not with the we're not going
Majority.
we're going against the grain,
Mhm.
And that's the thing is like, so now the people who woke and want to do well and be smart, be educated and stuff like that, because now you get fun of how you talk. If you don't talk black and you don't talk like, man, I'm speaking proper English. That's what's required here in America.
Yeah.
But I can also go to the neighborhood and speak the language. But you got to be bilingual up in here. You got to be Ebonics and English.
You absolutely do. B, I know that along with your show, I mean with your film career, your independent films. I know that I watched a film where you had won. No, I watched an interview. Was it what was this? It was an interview where you had won or gotten access to $1 billion or so.
Oh shit! A
What? Yeah,
billion.
what was
Oh,
that?
oh, oh,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Bring me
okay.
back.
Yeah,
Bring
you
me
talking about
back.
the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you talking about
movie.
the
Okay.
movie. The movie is called White People Money.
Right.
White People's Money. Yeah,
So
and that's
that was
yeah.
so believable. I was like, look, I said, let me text him real quick.
Yeah, but you know what's so crazy? That's not even my film. That was Mark Harris. Mark Harris
Yeah.
invited me to do a scene in the movie. I didn't know what the scene was. I didn't know what the movie was about. But
Mm-hmm.
I had my little sides like, this is your scene, and
Yeah.
we just filmed it. And
Yeah.
then I didn't know anything about the movie. I didn't know anything as far as where I was going to be placed in the movie. So when the movie came out, everybody's telling me that they saw me in the movie at the end, and everybody think it's my movie and it's my story, but it's not. I was just playing the character of the character that was whose story it was in the movie.
Man, it was so real. I was like, hey, Vico. No, I'm
I
just kidding.
wish,
I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
I,
But
I
no,
wish I had it like that, yeah. But that
right.
movie's called White People
White
Money,
people
yeah,
money. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
I did see that. But I know that you're also you're fundraising for your next film project. Am I correct?
Not necessarily fundraising,
Okay.
but I am seeking funding. I haven't put out a campaign or anything to get any funding, but I have some prospects lined up for my next film.
Okay. Well,
So,
congratulations on that.
thank you. And, so it's just like really nothing to speak on much, but I think my next film will be the sequel to A Get Together, like 20 years later. So it may do that may be my next film.
Okay. So can I send you my headshot and I'm ready. I'm
Absolutely,
ready.
man. Whatever you got.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I was like, man, I wish I was in that one,
Yes.
No, I wish you
Yeah.
much success on that. And you have found a way to circumvent the whole negative shenanigans and stay on top, because we in Chicago, we love you, B. Like, I don't know if you
Oh
really
man.
feel that, but like, we truly love B. Cole. Now, I know Chicago
Oh,
has
that's
a
love.
funny way of showing it. Trust me, they have a funny
They
way of
do,
showing
but
it. but
they do.
but
But
we
I
love you
feel
for
it.
real.
I
Yeah,
feel it.
yeah.
I feel it. They do, and I feel it. Really at my shows too. When I do my live shows, people
Hmm.
come out, and man, we just enjoy ourselves, And my thing is just the whole thing is just make people laugh. I just like making people laugh. It's been my life, all my adult life. So it's like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do it. This is it's in my fabric.
I know it is, because you've been naturally funny since I've known you, and before that, I'm sure. But it just comes natural. You got to laugh to keep from crying in this city. But
You
but
got
you
to.
yeah you do it so well, and your writing is so amazing. Like, I can't wait to see the next project and the next project and the next project. So I want everybody
Yeah,
out there to make sure that you support B Cole, and like,
please.
he did not call me and say, "Hey, put me on." Like, I've been chasing him for, let me see, I think it's been 3 years now.
It's
Since
been a minute. I'm
COVID.
glad. I'm glad we
Yeah.
got it. And I was praying that I didn't. I was praying to be on time for this, but like I'm in post production right now. I just shot a TV series called Welcome Back Comedy, and it's
Oh,
called
nice.
yes, it's called Welcome Back Comedy, and I shot 6 episodes. 3 comedians on each episode. It's 30-minute episodes. So Welcome Back Comedy is just making a statement of, yo, we're going back to the basics, like Comic View, Def Jam, how it was. Because today comedy is just it's so much, just people just pile so much into comedy now. It's just becomes something different. You know, it becomes
Mm-hmm.
like a Wild and Out now. No
Yeah.
disrespect to Wild and Out, is
Right.
doing what it's doing, but
I
it's
mean,
not
that's
comic
sketch.
view. It's
Yeah,
not
that's sketch.
that.
That's sketch.
Yeah, it's
But
sketch,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
improv,
Yeah.
but that's really basically a lot of what young aspiring comedians I get in these days. Like, I was inspired by seeing Bernie Mac and the other guys, Eddie Griffin, all them guys on Def Jam, me doing BT's Comic View, performing with my brothers like DL Hughley, Cedric, all them guys. That was Comic View was like high school for us. That was our high school. So when we see each other today, it's like, yo, it's like seeing an old high school
The
buddy.
reunion.
Like, man,
Yeah.
I remember when, and fortunately I was able to perform with them guys New Year's Eve, this past New Year's Eve at the United Center. And
Yeah.
that was great. It was just like feeling back at home with these guys.
Oh yeah.
And they embraced me like, yo, what's happening, man? Because we were all in them terms of like complaining about Comic View back in the day. Like, that's why our brotherhood came in, because we stuck together on some things. Some guys backed out because they didn't want the trouble, but some guys stuck with it, like myself, and we made it happen. But like I said, they made sure they cut me at the knees and like try to keep me down, but there's no keeping down, because like I said, I always look at it, rejection is for the protection. I was protected from a lot, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know something, I think that kudos to you for, sticking it out and not just saying, okay, I can't do this, because a lot of times it can be daunting, it could be heavy. And you're like,
Yeah,
maybe this is not for me, but what's for you is for you, as long as God got you through. So, hey, I'm loving it. This is great and amazing. I'm so proud of you. And I have one last
thank you. Of
question for you. What
course.
was there ever a comedian that you met in person that you would have been more of a like a groupie, if you could have been someone that you were just so amazed, like, oh my God, I'm actually in the room with you?
Yeah, it's only one. It's only one. And I'm gonna before I tell you who it is, I've been in a room with, I performed at the and that's another thing. I performed at the Fat Tuesdays, the Comedy Store, with Guy Tori. Guy Tori put his documentary out. I was there. I performed. And it's so crazy. I'm not in a lot of people's stories in their history. Let's go back to
Mm.
Cootie. When Cootie did his documentary with
Mm-hmm.
about Kanye,
Yeah.
I was out of that story, you know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother story about me and Cootie. So, but Cootie's first job was through me. I gave him his first job. His very
Mm.
first job was directing my movie, I'm in Love with a Crackhead. That was his
Mm.
very first job.
Wow. Yeah.
So to go back, when I performed at the Comedy Store at Fat Tuesdays with Guy Tori, Richard Pryor was in the audience. And Richard Pryor called me to his table and he told me I was funny. When I got the stamp from Richard Pryor, that was great. That was good. That was probably like 1994, some stuff like that, 94, 95. So I
Wow.
love that. But the person who I became just like, man, like a real fan, a groupie, that's the guy who inspired me to even get on stage and be funny, was comedian Damon Wayans from the Wayans family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I've loved him since I first saw him, Robert Townsend's partner in crime, when they was doing it on HBO,
Yeah.
and he just had like a three to 5 minute set, and he did his 3 to 5 minutes, and I was like, yo, that dude funny. So I really like that was my sensei. I was like, yo, this is who I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna follow this dude. And like I said, when he did his HBO special,
Mm-hmm.
and I was young, and this before I started doing comedy, my friend was watching it with me, and my friend was like, yo, B, he reminded me of you. And when he said that, I was like, damn, okay, well, that's what I'm gonna do then. If you see me, when you see that man on that TV like that, that's what I'm gonna do. So what Damon's taught me is to be a good performer, and always have some good, clever jokes to write. Not
Yeah.
just write jokes, something funny, but be clever with it. Be something to make a person think, and like, take them for a twist and turn with your joke, and,
Yeah.
and and bring it back later on, and you set the whole night. I learned a lot from Damon, and when I actually finally met him, it was like, wow, I'm meeting Damon, but he knew who I was when he
Mm.
met me, because
Yeah.
he watched Comic View. I didn't think he watched BET Comic View,
Yeah.
but he watched that. He knew who I was, told me I was funny. Then come to find out a little while down the line, me and this man's birthday is the exact same day.
What? Same year
Yeah,
too?
September.
No.
No, not same
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
but yeah. So Damon got some years over me, but
Yeah.
September 4th, yeah, that's our birthday. Same as Beyonce too. Me, him, and Beyonce share the same birthday.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Yeah, so
amazing.
yeah, so that's the comedian who I fanned out on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There you go. Althea Taylor says that any live shows coming up.
You know what? I've been coming into 2024 just under a lot of projects to produce. So, like I said, I just finished my television show, Welcome Back Comedy. So I'm in post production right that with that. I have nothing lined up for the first couple of months because I'll be in the studio really in post production, also getting ready for my next project. But
Yeah.
I am doing Martha's Vineyard this year with Damon Williams. Damon Williams been doing Martha's Vineyard Comedy Festival for the past 12, 13 years. And I think this is the 13th year. And I've
Nice.
done it the very first year. And now they invite me back 12 years later to do it again, which I'm very pleased to do. And they invited the movie to come with me. They want to
Ooh.
show they want to do the premiere of A Get2gether there as well. So I'm just really getting prepared for that. But right
Yeah.
now, I just flow with it. Like I'm just, I got no dates lined up, but I always get dates. Like,
Yeah.
my phone is always ringing when I'm needed. They put out the bat signal. I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's a good feeling. I mean, did you see this years ago when you started doing comedy? Like, did you see yourself doing film and going to Martha's Vineyard and meeting all of these greats? I just, yeah,
I had dreams about it. So
yeah,
like actual dreams of me hanging with celebrities, me like not just basically hanging, but just in the same
space.
environment with these
Yeah.
guys, just space, sharing the space with them and, gatherings and stuff. So, and I've done that. I've done that over the years. But like I said, I'm really just pretty much happy at my own pace doing what I'm doing. Like I said, I got so many years in it. I'm not really crazy about the spotlight or anything. I'm really ready to
Mm,
just get behind the camera and just have my name on everything, created
yeah.
by, produced by, and stuff like that. I'm actually developing a podcast right now where I'm using puppets. So I'll be using puppets. Yeah, so it'll be two puppets, me and a co-host, and we're doing the voices for these real life urban looking puppets. And we don't even have a name for it yet, but you know, but I got the puppet. So I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, you can say anything behind a puppet.
Yeah, you can.
you
You
know,
really
let
can.
let yeah let the council culture go after the puppets. So,
Wow. Yeah, I
but
don't
yeah,
think
so I'm
anybody
really
would I don't think anybody would cancel Kermit or Miss
right.
Piggy, you know?
Right. So
Wow.
so we're actually getting ready to start that next week actually.
Oh, okay.
So getting in so like I said, yeah, we just onto a lot of stuff because I've been just on the grind and on the hustle of performing in a lot of live shows throughout
Yeah.
the years, but I also like a friend of mine told me like, yo, you doing it backwards, man. You doing it, you hustle, you working too hard. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, he said, you need to conquer this internet and social media and do it here. And then you won't even have to work as hard on the road,
Mhm.
which makes sense as well.
Yeah.
So so that's what I'm doing. I'm creating podcasts, creating television shows, stuff like that. And
Okay.
it's very it's better now because all the access you have to all the streaming platforms and everything. It's not like going through the red tape as it was 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? I mean, I've done stand up 3 times and that's it, but I you know, 3 times and that's only because I'm not willing to be backstage like put me on. I'm a lazy
Right.
comic. Like I want somebody to call me and
Yeah, yeah.
say,
Trust,
"LaDonna."
I'm the same way too. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't them guys to put me on, but just fortunately I started doing the whole black comedy renaissance.
Mhm.
That's when the the magnitude of stand-up comedy was huge, and I came in right at the right time
Yeah.
because that's when BET Comic Views first came out, Def Comedy Jam first came out, and then now you're seeing all these comedians come out the woodworks that you didn't even know that existed. Like, yo, it's a lot of comedians around the country.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, so just being part of that wave, yeah, fortunately, my phone's been ringing because I still get booked off my past television shows. You know, they like, man, they book me from. I still get bookings from appearances on Comic View. They like, yo, I want to, you know. So I'm glad that leaves a stain
Mm-hmm.
where people remembers me, and I still work from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it leaves a long lasting impression because, even your children can grow up and watch those things and say,
absolutely,
that's
yeah,
what my daddy did. So it's very
yeah.
important that we leave something behind so that they can always have something to pass down when it comes to your
Oh, it
legacy.
was so great because my children are older, where I was able to celebrate New Year's Eve with them. I've been doing comedy all their lives, so that's
Mm-hmm.
all they know, and for me to do. So this past New Year's Eve, I was able to take them to the United Center with me, meet the people who they saw on TV and stuff
Oh,
like that, and they, it's just like, yo, they see what Dad do, and they hanging out with Dad, and they got to see me perform in front of 10,000 people that night.
right.
So that meant a lot, so much to me. For me to
Wow.
get invited to that.
They weren't the kind of kids like my kids don't believe that I know so many celebrities. My kids, unless they meet them, they weren't the kind of kids that said, uh, I now I believe you after they saw
All
those
right.
10,000 people.
Yeah.
Were they like
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, the thing is, my kids, they know that I've been in the industry all their lives,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
they always ask me if I know a person because they know I have met a lot of people and I have worked with a lot of people. So they ask me like, "Do you know this person?" and stuff like. I send them a picture and they were like, "Whoa, you do know this person?" An old picture we did taken years
Right.
ago because. Like I said, a lot of comedians who I met them before who they were. A lot of comedians
Mm-hmm.
introduce themselves to me as they're my fan. They're like, "Yo, be cold, I'm a fan." That'd be the first line, and
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Case in point, Cat Williams. That's how I met Cat. I met Cat Williams
Wow.
outside the Improv, Hollywood Improv, when he was out passing flyers. He's passing out flyers for his comedy night, which was the next day on Tuesday, because I was doing the Monday night, and comedian Speedy, he was the host at the time. And I remember that night because Chris Rock came in and bumped everybody off the list and went up there and did like 2 hours of comedy. So I was pissed, because I was right next to go on. I was next to go on. I was on deck, and Chris
Yeah.
came in and say he wanted to go up, and Speedy like, yo, Chris want to go up. I'm like, man, and he went up and did 2 hours of nothing,
And
and people start.
you didn't want to slap the taste out his mouth, did
Oh
you?
man, when Will Smith did that, I said, thank you, Will. I'm like, man, I finally got justice
Right.
after after 30 years. 30 years, But
Everybody else was
no,
saying
but
that was terrible, Will Smith, and you were like, "No, it was time."
like, but I understand,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing is, when I walked out the club, Cat Williams was out there, and he started walking with me because he, and telling me, introducing himself to me, and his name was Cat in the Hat at the time. He's like, yo, I'm Cat in the
Yes,
Hat,
yes.
and he asked me to do his Tuesday night, and I'm on my way on a red eye. I have a red eye flight that I got to catch out. So I'm on my
Mhm.
way to the airport, and he asking me to stay the next day to do his night. And he's like, please be cold, man. Can you just, change your flight to tomorrow and blase, blase, come by. And he wouldn't take no for an answer, but I had to get real, point with him like, yo, bro, I can't, I got to get back home,
Yeah.
and that was the last I seen Cat before he blew up. And then when Cat
Mhm.
blew up, I saw him one more other time. And when we saw each other, we just looked at each other and gave each other the nod like, okay, I see you,
I'm
brother. you
I'm
know,
glad. I'm
he,
glad he wasn't like, "See? Look at me
no, right,
now."
right. But,
I'm
but
glad
that,
he
but
wasn't
that
like
nod,
that.
that nod kind of gave an understanding like, yeah, I see you. And he couldn't do nothing but remember the encounter we had because we only had one encounter. So when I saw him years later, and it was actually at the Comedy Awards, in LA, and Steve Harvey was hosting that night as well, and Cat actually performed that night. So when we were there, right before the ceremony began, we just saw each other before we took our seats. He smiled, I smiled, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, stories like him, Kevin Hart, same way, Lil Rel, all them guys, like I said, they came up to me and introduced themselves as fans, and man, like I said, that's how our relationships kind of started. But like I said, me and Kat never had that because that was more of a rejection I gave to him that I know he's probably disappointed on, but you know, he just didn't understand that I had to get home.
Yeah. Yeah. You had small kids because that was that long
Yeah,
ago. Yeah. So.
yeah, my babies were small. So at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, and like I said, Lil Rel, I put Lil Rel in his very first movie, which was I'm in Love with a Crackhead, and you can catch I'm in Love with a Crackhead on my YouTube channel, B Cole Comedian on YouTube. Just go to B Cole Films, and my short film is on there, and that's I'm in Love with a Cracker. That was Lil Rel's very first acting role. Now here's the thing why I became disappointed in Lil Rel is because he was on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel asked him, say, "Yo, so what did you act in anything before Get Out? What was your first acting
Oh.
gig?" And what you know, I'm watching
You
it,
like
and I'm
you like
sitting up like
okay.
I'm like, man, all right, I'm about to get my little dude, get my little justice,
Right.
you
You
know,
was
get
like,
my little
nah.
shout out. And he said R. Kelly trapped in the closet. And I was like so disappointed.
Get
I was like,
out.
really? I like right, get out. And, you know, so I was that kind of disappointed me because then that's what made me move to LA. I ended up moving to LA. I think I packed my things and moved that next week because that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Where it's like, yo, now y'all not mentioning me out here. You guys got opportunity to mention me and you don't.
Did you ever
So I
talk
gotta
to him
go.
about that though?
I text Rail right after I watched the interview
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't respond. But then right after I texted him that, I got news that mutual friend of ours has passed away. So I text him right after that with that,
And he
and
responded.
he responded right away.
Mm-hmm.
But then we didn't talk anymore about the I'm sorry, my battery already going down. I'm sorry,
Uh-oh.
1 sec.
Okay.
I know that sucks. Matter of fact, because are we about to wrap up? Because I can go get my charger and plug this thing up.
It's up to you. I mean, we just chilling. It's up to
Yeah,
you.
let's chill for a minute. You ain't about to
All
just
right.
get me on here and get me off. Hold on 1 sec. Let me plug up. Hold on.
All right. Guys, make sure you go
All
to
right.
B Cole Films so that you can check out B Cole's films that he has on YouTube. One of them is I said the cookout. It's not the cookout. It's the get together. And that's the one where Marlon Mitchell, I believe Brian Smith, Bobcat Smith is in that. I'm just trying to go off of memory, but that was a very good film. Like he said, he was the first to use one of them Sony HD cameras, which I'm actually using right now for my podcast. So I finally switched over to the dark side. Um, and he
Okay, I'm
so
back.
he's back. He's back.
Yes.
I told him all to go to your YouTube.
Okay, yeah. Which is cool. So yeah, so with that, like I said, with Lil Rel, that made me move out to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I moved out to LA, I was there 6 months before COVID hit. So once
Okay.
COVID hit, it brought me back to Chicago. So I just looked at it like God said, "Yo, go back home. You
Mm-hmm.
know, don't your ego brought you out here,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not where you're supposed to be. Go back home." So
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's kind
came
of
back home.
it is kind of hurtful. I'm sure he forgot, because I can't see him or did did he feel like because I'm not a messy host, okay? So I just want to know, did he feel like that was not a considerable was it not considerable enough to mention versus an R. Kelly? I'm just wondering, you know what I'm saying?
You know,
Because like,
someone else made that point too.
yeah,
They said that he said that because that was more familiar.
yeah.
You know, R. Kelly is more familiar with everyone and stuff like that. So I took that into consideration. But I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, it was your first. He asked your first acting, you know, and and my movie was your first acting. I think saying you was in a movie called I'm in Love with a Crackhead would have been a better conversation. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of like, I'm in love with a crackhead. But here's the irony of it. Check this out. The person who booked him, the person who cast him in R. Kelly Trapped in a Closet, I started her casting career with my movie A Get2gether. That was her very first movie.
Oh wow.
So she became a casting director from my production and
Mm-hmm.
went off and done other great things, such as R. Kelly Trapped in the Closet, and that's how Lil Rail got in that. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta go way back into the roots of it all. You gotta go
Yeah.
way down to where the seed was planted.
Yeah.
And if I didn't give her that position, who knows if it would have met him to get that R. Kelly spot. So yeah, like I said, it's just weird, man. It's like I'm behind a lot of the beginning, and
Yeah.
like I said, people, and it kind of it gets upsetting when I'm left out of people's stories and
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
So and it's okay. It's okay. Because like my whole career, all I've been trying to do is help others to get on and get them. If I have a little platform, it's a little platform that you can get on to get you up to the next level and stuff. I can't say I can take you all the way there, but I can get
Right.
you closer with the power that I hold on to. And I
Right.
always shared that with everybody. But a lot of people told me like, "Yo, that was probably your biggest downfall."
Mm-hmm.
Trying to just
Mm-hmm.
be savior to everyone.
But at the same
Um,
time, like even if your version and your first is a crackhead, that's still your first. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
right.
but
Very true.
in film, one thing that you can't deny is that you gave the experience of being on a set and taking
Exactly.
cues and reading scripts and Trapped in the Closet was not a movie. It was a well, I forgot what they called it. It was like thriller. So you get what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
just
like
wasn't
music video.
right music it just wasn't the same. But would you have been able to be as good or do as well in Trapped in the Closet had you not had the first experience? There's no there
But
you
here's the thing.
mm-hmm.
But I didn't mean to cut you off. But here's the thing about that. He wasn't even. He was a stand-in. He was more of hired to be a stand-in opposed to being on camera, as he
uh,
stated. He's like,
on
yo, I was a
Trapped in the
stand-in.
Closet.
I'm trapped in the closet. So he
Oh,
wasn't even
so
actually.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so
but my
it was
thing, like I
yeah,
said, it was upsetting to me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because just the whole way, I met Lil Rail, I took him under my wing, and I started putting Lil Rail in a lot of little things that I was doing, um, before the internet. Like I was shooting sketch comedy, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff before the internet, all this stuff that's going on now. Um, if we had this assets back then when I was younger and doing all these sketches, yeah, I think I'd be an internet sensation too. But I was just before my time, and we were
Yeah,
doing so many skits back in the day. It's ridiculous,
I think I remember you
you know.
working with Eric Pickett. Do you remember Eric Pickett? I think you guys did something with Can TV or something. It's coming back to me. I feel like we did some type of intro and you
Okay,
I
yeah,
filmed you.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I do remember
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that
Man.
that was that was many years ago.
Yeah.
And like I said, I got so much content that I have been slowly releasing out on social media already, where people are seeing skits with me and Dion Cole, or me and Lil Rail, or me and some other comedians who are people know of now. But like I said, I put out a video with me and Dion that we did way back in, no, I think we done it early 2000s,
Yeah.
and it's already over 1 million views. Just
Congratulations.
because, just because it's Dion,
Yeah.
we put it
Yeah.
out there, and it's funny,
Yeah.
and we've done it, and it exceeded, it's on its way to touch 2 million views right now. But that's just how it is. That, like I said, I was ahead of my time with a lot of things, and now that the platforms are set up and all that, it's just time for me to get back into that, because now what's considered skits, like what skits are like 1 minute now.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough for a reel. We were shooting skits back in the day that was like 5 to 6 to 7 minutes. But today now those are considered short films now. A 6 minute, 8 minute sketch or whatever. That's the length of a short film. Skits
Yeah.
now are like 90 minutes. I mean, I'm sorry, 90 seconds to a minute. I mean, two
Mm-hmm.
minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't exceed over 2 minutes with a sketch now. But when we were doing skits, boy, we had, like I said, damn near 8 minutes.
Yeah. Well, people's attention spans have gotten shorter. That's a proven
Very short.
fact. Yeah. So
Very
you got
short.
to get in and
And
get out.
yeah, so like I said, we were doing this before YouTube, all this stuff, but the way we showed our sketches, we were showing them at our live comedy shows. Like
Yeah.
we have a screen in there with a projector. I used to bring a projector and would bring my own screen, set it up, and then we'd do stand up comedy, and then we'd flash the sketch right on the screen when we introduce a sketch. Just and
Yeah.
then next thing you know, that was before Dave Chappelle. And Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle, that was his whole concept of his television show. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, we were doing that live in the club.
I was watching some old comedy with my father not too long ago, and it never dawned on me that Dave Chappelle reminds me of Flip Wilson. It never dawned on me. I was watching Flip Wilson, and I was like, Dave Chappelle. That's all.
Yeah,
Like they are so similar.
yeah, Dave Chappelle. Yeah, I can see that. I
Yeah.
can see that. But the person who for years I've been saying that reminds me of Flip Wilson, looks like Wilson, and should be considered going out for the Flip Wilson story
Not
if that
Brian
ever comes
Smith.
about.
Not Brian Smith.
The Wildcat,
Yep, the Wildcat.
right?
You're right.
Man, I said, dude, you Flip Wilson, man. Yeah, yeah. So I've been telling him that for years.
We used to do a
Yeah,
show together on WVON with how am I not remembering the name? Cool Out, sorry. With Cool Out.
yeah.
And we used to do a roundtable show with him. It was hilarious.
That's
But yeah,
cool.
he's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, Cool Out is my DJ for the stand up comedy show that I told you I just filmed, Welcome Back Comedy. So he's
Nice.
the Cool Out, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's I'm not gonna say the next Kid Capri, but he's the first DJ Cool Out.
He sure remind
Because
me of Kid
that's what
Capri. Yeah.
huh?
He reminds me of
Yeah,
Kid
because
Capri. Yeah.
that's what he'll tell me. Like, because I told him, I said, yeah, I said you gonna be the next Kid Capri. He said, man, I'm gonna be the first Cool Out. I'm like, okay, I
Oh
hear
Lord.
you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
You
that
gotta
sounds like
respect
him.
that. Yeah, Cool Out. That's my man. He's like, yeah. He's like, no, I'm gonna be the first DJ Cool Out. I'm like, all right, brother. I heard that. I'm not gonna call you Kid Capri ever again. You
Never.
know.
Okay.
But
Never
that's my
that.
man. But yeah, and speaking of Kid Capri, like Kid Capri, he called me one day out the blue years later
Hmm.
and just acknowledged or just to thank me that I put him in his very first movie, his only movie.
See?
Excuse me.
See?
And I didn't even realize it because kid called me, said, B man, I just want to call you because dude, I worked with everybody, every
Hmm.
comedian in the industry. There's no comedian that I haven't worked with, and no one asked me to be in the movie ever. I said,
Hmm.
wow. I said, you right. I
Hmm.
said, yeah. I said, man, you done work with Chris Tucker, all the kings of comedy, you know what I'm saying? Eddie Griffin and Martin Lawrence, and nobody asked you? He said, no one asked me. And I asked him to be in my movie A Get Together and play a character in the movie, which was his profession. He was the DJ of the party of the movie.
I didn't realize that was his first role. I didn't even think about it.
First and
Wow.
only role. He hasn't
Yeah.
done anything else.
Right, right. I didn't
But
even
like you
think about
said,
it. Yeah.
no one. But I didn't think about it either until you brought it to my attention and said I was the only comedian to ask him to be in the movie, and I was like, wow,
Like, why?
yeah,
Now
that is,
everybody's gonna ask him. Now that you
yeah.
said it, be
So
like, you know what?
yeah, and I want people to do that because the thing is like that just makes me feel good that
Yeah.
I'm able to do that for someone that's memorable for someone. That was like a highlight for him, which I didn't know even know. I just put him in a movie, and I was happy to have him. I was honored to have him in a movie. He
Yeah.
brought some star power to my film. But not knowing that on the flip side of it, he was excited that I asked him to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
and he was honored to do it. And I was like, wow, and like I said, that movie is a classic, and I'm proud of it. And that's another story about my movie A Get Together, because now that Cat Williams opened up that door,
Yeah.
I want to talk about how Ice Cube took parts of my movie and put it in his movie Friday After Next.
Mm-hmm. So
And
what?
my
So
and
Friday After Next, when you say parts of the movie, which part? Because I'm trying to picture.
well, the characters for one, my Money
Mm-hmm.
Mail. I got Money Mail in my movie, Money
Yeah.
Mail.
Yeah.
He has Money Mike. I have like the character that Terry Crews played, the ex convict is
Yeah.
that's um you know got homosexual ways or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had that in my script. My character name is Maniac, and Maniac's taking the character in the bathroom to do the whole
Mm.
rape thing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, R. I didn't mean to say that. I don't want to mess with you.
No, you're not messing with anything.
But
It happened. I mean,
okay,
it
yeah,
is what it is. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't. It's certain words you can't say, but
Yeah.
um, but that was in my script. Now, when I met Ice
Mm-hmm.
Cube on the set of Barbershop. I was on Barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked like one day, because I auditioned. Me and Deion Cole auditioned together
Mm-hmm.
to uh to play the part that Anthony Anderson and Lamar Tate had, when
Mm-hmm.
they stole the ATM in Barbershop.
Yeah.
So with that was me, and that's what me and Dion went out for. We auditioned that together. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't we didn't get the part, but they gave us little small parts in the movie. So I was a customer in the movie.
Okay.
And so by me being on the set, I was with everybody. So me and Ice Cube had a conversation. We got to talking about the movies. And then I told him about my movie I'm in Love with a Crackhead that was already done and shot. And I had it on VHS. I told him I wanted to give him a copy. He's like, cool, gang. He's like, bring it to my trailer and stuff. So everybody, we all on break. Everybody break for lunch. He goes to his trailer, and I run to my car and go get my movie I'm in Love with a Crackhead, which is a VHS.
Mm-hmm.
But right next to my movie was my script, A Get Together, which I haven't produced yet. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I'm gonna give him this script too. Me
Mm-hmm.
being young, not knowing shit, where like this is unsolicited, not knowing the rules of everything. So I
Mm-hmm.
ran into his trailer, and when I ran into his trailer, in hindsight I think about it, like Q was smart because he had me put it in the PA's hands. He didn't take it out of my hands. He like, give it to the
Mm.
PA. And he was right next to him, so I didn't understand why I couldn't give it to him. He's like, give it to him. So I gave it to the PA, and
Mm-hmm.
then that was the end of it. Now, when I went and shot my movie A Get Together, the crazy thing, this is the irony of it. When I shot A Get Together on our last day of shooting, everyone was like, okay, cool, man, let's hurry up and get these last scenes out because Friday just came out today. We want to go see Friday on opening night. So we had our last shoot, we shot it, and then a few of us was able to go see Friday. We went to go look at the movie. When we looked at that movie, he's like,
You saw your
dude,
own
we just
characters.
we just shot this shit, you
Yep.
know. I just shot this stuff. And in my movie, you got Money Mike. No, but I got Money Mel. He got Money Mike. And then, like
Wow.
I said, the whole altercation in the bathroom, that was in my script. The whole nine is in my movie. I don't
Mm-hmm.
show inside the bathroom. I show what happens after the bathroom when
Mm-hmm.
he's carrying the guy out in his arms as if
Mm-hmm.
something happened in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So even when Kat mentioned that when the script had him getting raped in the bathroom, that he had them change that because he didn't want
Right.
to, you know, have that.
Right. It's
But in
not
my
funny.
script, it
Yeah.
was written like that. It
Yeah.
was written like that in my script. So that's how I knew he took them inserts out of my script and put it into that movie. So that's
Well, at
what
least
I've
you
been
know he
holding on
read it.
to for me.
At least you know he
Yeah,
read
I
it.
know he read it, right? Read it and filmed it and everything, man.
Read it,
So
filmed it, and
that right
everything. Yeah.
there, like I said, but I've been sitting on that for years and everything. So like I said, now that Cat kind of opened the gate and make it okay for you to speak your truth, man, I'm ready to tell my story on many platforms.
That makes me angry. Because it's like one of those things where you go, aren't we all supposed to help each other? all he had to do was bring you on. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
could have put you on, and it's just and then I think about this, right? I think about, will he say that he never read it, but he had a creative team that brought the ideas to him? You know what I'm
right,
saying? But the
right.
unfortunate piece is you stole it. Like
Stole it,
it's right
stole it.
there. Like I was trying to get put on and you couldn't put me on.
I
This
mean, it's so crazy from the description of the character in the movie in my
Yeah.
script
Yeah.
of
Like
Money
they said,
Mail.
okay, here's that page here. Here, just put it on in there.
Yeah, they took the description and everything and put it in like the colors of his suit and everything was how they dressed Cat Williams, and I'm like, wow. And then, like I said, that was the first time I seen Cat Williams since I met him. And when I saw him in that movie, I didn't even put it together that that's the same dude who was sitting outside the club asking me to stay and do his night
Yeah.
at his comedy show. And I didn't even put it together. Vince Bass. Vince
Yeah.
Bass was with me. Vince Bass was with me that night when I met Cat Williams, because Vince Bass was my very first manager.
Yeah.
So we went over all of Hollywood together, sat in many meetings and stuff together. But like I said, Vince had to tell me, say, that's that dude. I'm like, that's him. He's like, yeah, that's that dude. Cat Williams, Cat in the Hat, Cat Williams put it together. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that is him.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
said that
But nothing.
Disney made him change his name. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. It was too close.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Introducing
Yeah.
Minnie Mouse. No. Yeah. Wow. And at this point, like I wonder what Cat would say if he knew that his character was actually ripped from your script.
And that's my point exactly. Like, not only what he would say, but would he even
Bring it to
honor
me.
my story and
Yeah.
respect it just on the fact that I'm speaking my truth like he just done,
Mm-hmm.
and not debunk or try to debunk what I'm saying or anything, because it's my story. It's what it is.
But there's
And
timestamps, B. There's timestamps. The
yeah,
day
very
you
much time.
finished
Yeah,
shooting, you couldn't have known what was in that movie. You couldn't. You had
nothing.
days of filming. You couldn't have known what was in the movie because the movie hadn't been out yet. It came out that day. Is that
Exactly.
what you said?
We saw it opening night. Our
Yeah.
our last day of shooting our movie, Friday was coming out that night. So basically, that was the talk all of the week while we were shooting. Like, y'all,
Yeah.
Friday coming out on
Yeah.
Friday. That was huge. So we
And
went to
you
go
didn't
see it.
get
We
the
ran to
part.
see it.
I wonder if that's why you didn't get the part.
For what?
You see what
No,
I'm
no, that was
saying?
for barbershop. That was for barbershop.
Look, I didn't put barbershop in front. Look, I might look young.
Yeah,
But
I was
yeah, no,
rejected from barbershop way
yeah.
before I met Cube.
Yeah.
So
Look, I
yeah,
put
but I
Cube.
met
I'm thinking Cube. Okay, never mind. We got that
yeah,
clear.
I met
Okay.
I met Cube as an extra on barbershop. I was one of the
Okay, right.
customers on barbershop,
Right,
and you'll
right. I
get to
got
see
you.
me on there. But like
Yeah.
I said, even with comedians stealing jokes and stuff, like I said, I have jokes that I've done on Comic View back in the 1990s that I see these famous comedians now doing it and doing
Mm-hmm.
it now. I'm like, yo, I've done that back in the day. So like I said, by Cat Williams bringing up his old comic view and bringing out a recent performance of Cedric doing the same joke, it's like, man, I'm so ready to do mine like that. It's comedians out here who people love that I can call out, and people probably be mad at me about it, but it's like, yo, like I don't even have to say anything. Just put the videos out and do the
Mm-hmm.
timing of it. My
Mm-hmm.
time was in the 90s. This time is in the 2000s.
But what's
You
the
know.
end goal? Like, I see calling them out, but doesn't that kind of turn into a brother pitted against another brother? Or how can we grow from this? Because I'm all about growth in our community, in the industry. We have to bring it out, yes. But the problem is, it's not a problem that it wouldn't have been a stolen joke had you given me my credit. Like, hey man, look, I saw your performance. I really want to
Right.
develop this, turn it into my own. can I lease that from you? You know, or license, I should say. Can I license that
Yeah,
from you? And that would be fair. But to just like Steve has been known for stealing stories. His whole book was stolen.
I
Okay.
know. I
So and that
know.
was from a woman. Wasn't she from Chicago? We haven't heard much about that either. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And it seems, and you mentioned growth. It's hard to grow with people who not willing to grow with you. They don't, when they feel that they're here and you're here,
Mm-hmm.
I can call them out, but they're not gonna like, yo, okay,
Let
it's
me
like
yeah.
basically they're not doing anything for me anyway right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like what they'll do, they'll just continue going on and being famous off something that I've written,
Mm-hmm.
and here I just got the story, I just got it, like I know my truth, this is mine, but
Yeah.
I'm not worried about burning any bridges or anything stuff like that, but I don't want to pit myself against anyone either.
Right.
I
Right.
don't want that kind of, I don't want that.
Right. That's not
But
that's why I
at the
said
same
what's the
time,
end goal, but I'm not gonna be silent anymore either. It's like,
yeah,
look,
not. I just
yeah.
want people to know what people like. It's always just been the question: what happened to Be Cold? Like, because when people saw me, and then when I just apparently disappeared to a lot of people, they saw me disappear on top. It wasn't that like they saw me spiral down and
Yeah.
then I vanished
Amen.
off the TV scene. People just didn't see me because I wasn't invited to a lot of the, TV shows
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. I was considered blackballed.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm fighting
yeah.
against that word myself. I'm tired of everything dealing with black being a bad thing.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
so we hopefully you will be whitelisted. I've been blackballed at an agency before. I was
Oh wow.
representing. Yeah, I reached out to give free PR services to Tyronda Jones, that was an up and coming actress on Empire, and I reached out to her agency, and I was sending them call sheets because I had booked her to be on the radio, on television, all this stuff, and I was
Right.
a publicist. I did it for free because I knew she was an up and coming artist. She did not have
She was the girl. What? She
representation.
was the girl playing Portia
Portia,
on there or
yeah,
something.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah. Okay, okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
her agency, I got her. I think we got to the fourth appearance, maybe three appearances, and her agency told her whatever they told her. Now I got an inside track that they told her that she was not to work with me and that they are going to be doing whatever they were going to be doing. And she did not return my calls after that, and they stopped taking my calls. But prior to that, oh, hi, LaDonna. Hi, LaDonna. I'm talking the agency. Hi, LaDonna.
Right.
Hi, LaDonna.
Right.
Yeah, they unfortunately, someone got in her ear and said, "Wait, she's doing more for you than the agency," and they had to protect their interest. So,
And that's what they do. They
mm-hmm.
they'll tell Hollywood will tell you like, yo, you have new friends. The friends back at home that that's no more.
Right.
And they will listen to them, and because they know them the guys who feeding them and giving them the paychecks and
And
got the
plus, she was
opportunities
new.
for them. So
Right. Yeah, she was
yeah,
new.
and they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
disregard, and they'll disregard you.
Mm-hmm.
Like they won't return your calls, none of that stuff. Like I've lived through it with several comedians.
Oh
There's
yeah.
several comedians out there in LA, and like I said, they will cut connection with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like when Cat Williams made that statement, when I walk in the room, everybody heads go down because I know what's going on. That's how I feel the same way. A lot of
Yep.
them cats don't want to see me. They don't want to see me because when I told you I was the first one to go out to LA and
Uh huh.
experience everything. So when I came back and told them, yo, you don't want what's out there.
Yeah.
We're going to do it all at home. We're going to
Yeah.
do a movies. Cootie, grab your camera.
Mm-hmm.
Dion, Lil Rel, this and that. Marlon Mitchell, let's get this movie. I'm in love with a crackhead because
Mm-hmm.
it's hot right now because
Mm-hmm.
everybody's screaming I'm in love with a crackhead everywhere I go. Let's make it into a movie.
Yeah.
Make it
Yeah.
into a movie, the whole nine, everything.
You have you
But like I
you
said,
would perform that on stage with music. I remember.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I always try to trick it up every way I could to reinvent the poem. I'm in love with a crackhead. But like I
Oh,
said,
And let me just say
Them
this.
guys.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I couldn't think of the name of the agency. That's why I kept saying the agency. It was Panessa Talent. I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Panessa. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
familiar. Yeah, I'm familiar with Panessa. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow,
Yeah, I
that's
got the
sad to
emails
hear.
to prove it. But anyway, go on. But I
Yeah,
loved
but
your performance with that. I just
yeah.
it was brilliant. Yeah.
So my whole plan was for us to come and do it together. All of us get together and do it independently. But when you're doing it that route, it's not moving fast enough for some people who are part of the team, and they like, yo. So when some guys went out there, they went out there and blew up. And
Mm-hmm.
but I know what it consisted of for them to go to them levels. So like I
Mm-hmm.
said, when I haven't seen none of them when since they've been big and at that famous plateau.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't run into them, but I know they don't want to run into me because they have to
Yeah.
look me in the eye,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be like, I know what you did
Mm-hmm.
because I was there, you know, and I
I know
refuse
what
it.
you did last summer.
Right. So the thing is, that's why I was happy when Cat say when he went into the room and it was like three other black men, black actors in there. He's
He's
like,
like, what
okay,
did
what
y'all
have
do?
y'all done to get here? Because I know what they asked me to do. So that was my thing. And then I started seeing these brothers on TV in dresses and stuff. Like, wow. So once you do that, then it's pretty much it's the next level for it.
You know, this came out quite a few years ago about how black men are deemed to end up in a dress when it comes to Hollywood because that is their way of emasculating them. This is not something. Obviously, it's not something new, but it came up before, and people just kind of. But if you think about it, it seems like it always seems like it is by their own choice because that's what they come out saying. But now that this is out and others are going to come forward, I'm sure. You understand that you have.
Well, here
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off. Here's what it is, though. It's not even about being emasculated and stuff like that, because a lot of white men wear dresses as well. But the thing is, that's part of it. It does take away your
Yeah,
masculinity,
absolutely.
just by itself. But
Yeah.
here's the real reason why they put you in a dress. Because when they put you in a dress, you're basically telling them, okay, I'm ready to go to the next level. So when you're about to be on the dress and you're about to air, what they're gonna do, they're gonna call the higher ups, they're gonna call the elites. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
say, tune in tonight. You're gonna see our next player. You're gonna
Victim.
see the next guy.
Okay, player. Okay.
Right. So once they see them, they can be like, oh, okay, cool. Invite them to the house. Now
So
you go
that's
from
kind of
wearing a
like you're
dress.
saying it's like signing a contract,
Is exactly. It's like
leveling
it's
up.
a sign. It's a
Mm-hmm.
whole signal. Like when you
Mm-hmm.
put the dress on, that's the signal saying, "Hey, I'm ready, guys. I'm ready to go to the next level. Invite me to the house." So once you get put the
Mm.
dress on, now you get invited to the house. Once
Yeah.
you get to the house, when you get to the house, it's another decision you got to make to walk through the door because once you go through that door, you go to the next level. It's other things you got to do, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all about compromise. But here's the thing: there's a lot of black brothers who put on dresses and didn't proceed after that, but they fell off. Look at Brandon T. Jackson, for instance, when he did Big Mama's House with Martin Lawrence, and he
Mm-hmm.
talks about it in his interviews now. Like, yeah, I put on a dress, but
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't willing to go to the next level
Yeah, I
after the
can't. I can't.
dress.
I worked with him on roll bounce. I can't see him going to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Is like you'll put the dress on and go to the thing like, okay, it's harmless. Put the dress on. You
Mm-hmm.
mean I get this? Yeah, you get this.
Yeah.
And then when you get that, they're like, all right, cool. It's time to go to the next level. You ready to get this?
And
And
you're
then if
like,
you say
yeah.
no,
And you're like, whoa.
yeah. But if you say
Mm.
no, you've done.
Yeah. You're canceled.
Like you can't. Okay, cool. Thank you. Bye. Then that's it. And then you get no
But
more work. None of that stuff.
if you denzel it, right, Washington, and you
Uh
never
huh.
put the dress on, then the signal never went out, and it's just based off of your agent. Am I correct? Am I saying
Right
that
now,
right?
you gotta have a dope agent stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I defended Denzel. I've defended Denzel many years. Till somebody brought it to my attention that he did actually. Uh,
He wore a
but if you
dress.
look at the well, yeah. I mean, with the movie Ricochet,
I have to
if you
watch
look at the
that.
movie
I don't think
Ricochet,
I
where
saw
he
that. Yeah.
Right. And I vaguely remember it, but somebody brought it to my attention that he put on a dress and a wig and that because his character was drugged up and he was held captive inside this room with a camera on him. And the person who the perpetrator was watching him on camera as he was they kept drugging him up and they'd get in bed and drug him up and he'd be
Mm-hmm.
on heroin and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a scene where he was talking into the camera where he put a dress on, put a hat, and like, this what you want to see? You want to see me
Right.
like this, whatever stuff like that. And I'm paraphrasing,
Yeah.
but I will go watch the movie and witness that myself. But when I did see it back in the '90s, I kind of recall like, yeah, he did do something like that. He put lipstick on, you know what I'm saying? But he was under the influence doing it as his character. But that regardless how it's done, you've done it, and that's just showing that you're willing to play. You're willing to play, go to the next level.
So, do you think he went to, because his career never fell off?
Never. I don't think it will unless
Do you think he
they
went to
ready
the
for it
next
to.
level, or he just had?
Denzel,
Yeah,
yeah, but like I said, I look at Denzel talent and for who he is and his representation got him to the levels he at. I don't
mm,
think what he's done by him putting that dress on in Ricochet or whatever
mm-hmm,
he did in Ricochet. I don't think that's what uh was determined for his career. I don't think
okay,
that's what um, made him go to a higher up in his
mm-hmm,
career.
mm-hmm,
I think his talent did it alone. But
yeah,
like I said, somebody was made the argument with me like Denzel isn't an exception because he did do it as well.
mm-hmm,
And I defended Denzel all this time, and I still haven't went to see it for myself again. But as I recall, I remember the scene the guy was talking about. Like, yeah, I remember that he did do that.
yeah.
You know.
Wow. I just, it's unfortunate that these hidden secrets and signals are targeting our men, our role models for our young boys. And
Yeah.
sometimes this generation that's coming up, they tend to trade in their values for valuables, and that be money, the fame, the attention, the contracts, instead of holding on to their families and staying away from drugs and all of this rigmarole that's surrounding you because you're in the industry, and you're willing to risk it all just for the fame, the money, the cars, the girls, and da 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 da.
Right. Right.
It's
And like I said, I've
unfortunate.
been doing it. I've been doing this all my adult life. Started at 19 years old. So, and when I was younger, the fame, the money, all that was there, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. I, I wasn't pretty much smart with all of it. All I wasn't really mature to have that much popularity and wasn't managing my money right at that time when I had it coming in like that. So, but I'm so much at peace now
Yeah,
compared to when I was living them days like that.
yeah,
That's why I really love Andre 3000 when he did his latest interview talking about his journey now, and it's like,
yeah.
yo, I'm on that same kick. I'm like in my isolation stage. I'm doing my Obi-Wan Kenobi, meditating and what I'm saying, manifesting and just tapping in with my spiritual side.
Mm-hmm.
I had my ego death. My ego death that happened years ago. Like during the pandemic, I really, really went through a transformation, because I believe I caught COVID twice.
Mm.
And then you just start thinking, but I enjoyed the pandemic because out of my whole career, that was the best rest I've gotten throughout the
Mm-hmm.
years. Like that
Mm-hmm.
1 year, that was the first time I ever like just sat still and was able
Yeah,
to rest, you
yeah.
know. And if anybody came in to the pandemic and left out the pandemic still thinking the same, you wasted valuable time.
Yeah.
That was time to really get yourself to know yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I think God had his hand in that. I had COVID and I was on my deathbed. Went to the emergency room and they said, "Well, do you want us to check you in, or you want to go home with an oxygen tank?" And I said, "I'm going home. I'm not gonna die here." I took a Uber
Right.
home. I took an Uber home, and my Uber driver was like, "So, you just getting off work? And I said, no, I'm just coming from the emergency room. But I didn't want to talk because I didn't want to get him sick. And
Right.
he kept talking, and I let my windows down because I just didn't want to get him sick. And he said, so you all good now? I said, oh, yeah, I had asthma. Because I did. My asthma was
Mm,
kicking, but I couldn't say I had COVID. He would have put my butt out on the side of the road.
right.
But he got me home, and if I hadn't had my son and my daughter-in-law taking care of me and my little babies too, I don't know what would have happened because I couldn't get out of
Yeah.
bed for a long time. Um,
Wow. Yeah.
but I did lose 10 pounds, which was great. That's why I won't get the flu shot now. You know, they keep saying, did you get your flu shot? And I'm like, no, I'm trying to lose weight. So if I
Yeah.
get the flu,
Yeah.
that's 5 pounds right there. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you made it through, B, because like I said earlier, Chicago loves you. We love you. You have
There's
always
love.
been like my guy. I love watching you grow, doing your thing. And I'm just so
Thank you.
proud of you. I can honestly say, you know how you're proud of someone from the surface, from the distance, but I'm proud of you for real because I was there. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
there, and I see from whence you
I
came,
remember.
man. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and thank you for that, and I appreciate it. And like I said, all I'm doing is just going with the flow of life. I don't make things complicated, overthinking a lot of stuff,
yeah.
pressuring myself about things, the pressures of society. I just I just flow. I just like Bruce Lee say, be like water, just like water. And
Mm-hmm.
just that's how I do.
Mm-hmm.
And once you stop resisting and stop trying to have so much control on what you feel your destiny should be, everything just comes to you.
It
It
does.
flows to you. You know,
Yeah,
you
it
can have you,
absolutely
you can have
does.
too much of a tight grip on things where you're not letting things just happen, and so
Mm-hmm.
you got to loosen up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And meditate about it, pray on it. And that's just been my journey lately. Just, and like I said, like when I told you I performed at the United Center on New Year's Eve, do you know I got that job 48 hours before that night. You know,
Wow.
I was invited. So yeah, so New Year's Eve is like I had 5 shows lined up that whole entire weekend, but that made my number 5 show. That made my 5th show that night. And even though I had 5 shows throughout the weekend, I had 2 shows New Year's Eve. But I was that show I added on to the list because I was like, yo, that's an opportunity I want to take. But my point is getting that 48 hours prior that could have went to anybody, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
they could have asked anybody. We have a lot of great comedians here in Chicago, but I was
Yes.
asked to do it, and that's what you call favor, you
That
know.
is favor. And it's so
Yeah,
sweet. It's so sweet because you went through that time period where you weren't invited. And this time you were invited in your
there it is.
hometown. This was
Exactly, and I
perfect.
felt
Yes.
good. And you know what's so crazy? Because when they filmed Martin Lawrence's First Amendment, they filmed the season they shot here in Chicago at the Chicago Theater.
Yeah.
It was the summer of like 2014 or something like that, or 2012. I was actually living downtown in a high rise at the time that you could see out my window. You could see the theater, and I'm
The
seeing the comedians, the
marquee.
limousines
Yeah.
pulling up. I'm seeing the marquee. I'm seeing it all happen, and
Yeah.
I'm in my window like, man, it's sad that I'm not
Like a
invited to it. And
kid
it's
that can't go outside and play.
right, and you live across the street from the playground, and like, man, I'm looking, and it's just like that was so hurtful, you
I
know.
bet.
But I knew what it was though. Like I knew what it was. It's like these the same people,
Yeah.
who I gave trouble to back in the '90s with BET.
Yeah. But if you
Yeah,
hadn't, then things wouldn't be the way they are now. So you took one for the team. We're gonna
I
stop.
took
Oh, go
yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I took one for the team, but that's what I'm doing. That's why I've done my own show. Like you said, produce your own stuff. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, as we close, I just want you to tell everybody your proudest moment. Period.
Oh wow. Well, my proudest moment, besides what I just told you, celebrating New Year's Eve with my children at the
Mm-hmm.
United Center, that was
Mm-hmm.
very, very proud moment. But I gotta say, when I actually met and hung out with Prince, you know. Yeah, and it was so crazy. I hung out with Prince twice. The first time I hung out with Prince, I I was doing a comedy show in Minnesota, Minneapolis, every Thursday night. This was the year 2000. And I hit a comedy night there, but not realizing the DJ for my show, who's been a DJ the whole time, I didn't know that he was good friends with Prince. So it was just one night after the show, he was packing up his equipment, and I'm like, "Yo, man, all right, cool. I'll see you next week." He's like, "Man, I'm about to go over Prince's house. You want to go?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm about to go over Prince's house." I said, "Man, you ain't about to." I'm like, "Prince?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, he home. He in town. He in the studio right now, man." And then like now, granted, this is after the show, so it's already like 1 o'clock
2 in the morning.
in the morning. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So we get over there. We get to Prince's house about 2 a.m. And it was just amazing that I didn't believe him the whole entire way we were going. And when we get to the house, I see Prince's big mansion, white mansion, and it's nighttime, and he got all the purple lights blasting from the ground, hitting the white mansion, made it look purple. So I still didn't. When we got to the gate, I still didn't believe we were going. I like, dude, you playing, man. We not about to go in Prince's house. This dude pushed a button on his sun visor, and the gates open, like the Prince symbol. The gate it opened up. I was like, you really know Prince, you know. This was like one of Prince's childhood friends, like they families came up together, and he done a lot of production on Prince's music, like mixing music down and stuff like that, give it its final you know, touches on it, whatever he did. But he proved himself, he knew Prince, he introduced me to Prince. Me and Prince had a long conversation in the
How is that
studio.
introduction? I just were you? I mean, were you? I know he's another man, but like, tell me
Man,
what
he
was the
wasn't.
energy
That's the
like?
thing. He wasn't another man. He was the man floated when he came out. He floated. Like I didn't see his legs move. He just floated to me. Like and he had this white pullover blouse. Is a white. It looked like a dashiki bell bottom sleeves with the black silk bell bottom pants with his heels, hair long, and he came out his studio because the shout out to Brother Jules. Brother Jules is the my DJ who took me over there. He had me stand in the hallway while he went in the studio where they were doing music, and I guess he went up there to tell Prince that he got somebody outside he wanted to meet. So Prince came outside to meet me. And when Prince came outside, me and him just hit it off right away talking because I'm a comedian. Prince loved comedy. First thing he said, my favorite comedian is Bernie Mac. That's who he said. I was like, wow. I said, yeah, of course, you know. And Prince actually did a song and sampled Bernie Mac's routine from Def Comedy Jam in that song. That's how I knew he was a Bernie Mac fan because he used Bernie's Def Jam set in one of his songs. It's called The Pope. If you all ever get a chance, look up The Pope,
Mm-hmm.
Pope, and it starts off with Bernie Mac. I ain't scared of you, mother, and then it goes throughout the whole song.
Yeah.
So I already knew that song because I was a Prince fan. So when he said that, I wasn't surprised. I said, "Yeah, I know you put it in the Pope." So by me saying that, Prince is like, "Oh, you know about the Pope?" So me knowing about Prince and the music, he knew that you know, I was an admirer of his work. He invited me
Mm-hmm.
into the studio. Inside the studio was sitting him and Larry Graham and Larry Graham's wife. I met Larry Graham that night. You know, if you all know Larry Graham, One in a
Yeah.
Million. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they were all in there together. And this is 2 days before my birthday. Remember my birthday, I said it's September 4th. So this is September 2nd. I'm there on a Thursday. And I was having my birthday party September 4th at E2 that Saturday night. So I had
Mm-hmm.
my flyers and everything. And I gave Prince my flyer to my birthday party. He loved the flyer because the way I designed it. I had my head on top of John Travolta body on Saturday Night Fever with the white suit on, and you know what I'm saying. You know
I
I
feel like
decorated,
I
made it
remember
comical.
that. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
I
it was.
remember that.
Yeah, my head was on John Travolta's body
Yeah.
on the album cover, Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Then on the backside, I put my head on top of Al Green's album cover picture. My head was on Al Green body when he was sitting in that wicker chair,
Mm-hmm.
and it was called I'm still in love with you. That was his album cover. I'm still in love with you, and I titled mine I'm still in love with a crackhead. That
Crackhead.
was
I
mine.
know I saw that
So
flyer. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I got friends today who still have that flyer. That was a real popular flyer. So when I gave it to Prince, he loved it. Prince is like, man, he's like, he found it funny. And when Prince was laughing, he wasn't laughing. He was talking out his laugh. He's just like, this is funny. This is funny. That's all he kept saying. This is
Right.
funny.
Right.
So he told me he wanted to do that with the Godfather's poster. He wanted to put his head on Marlon Brando's body, you know. So me and him had them type of conversations and everything. That night ended. Of course, I'm going telling the world, man, I hung out with Prince because I've been a Prince fan since grade school.
Yeah.
So that was in September. Then in November, he came to Chicago and performed. He was doing small concerts then, so he did the Riviera up north. The
Mm-hmm.
Riviera, that's not even a small venue, but for Prince, that's a small
Mm-hmm.
venue.
Mm-hmm.
So he was doing small concerts. Then when he was in town, I called brother Jules. I said, Jules, you in town with Prince? He's like, nah, but go up there and I'm gonna make sure you good at the door. So I went to the concert, and sure enough, they let me in, and I hung out with Prince on stage the whole night. And but here's the thing: this wasn't actually the concert. This was the after party, and this
Nice.
was at the
Yeah.
Metro up north in Wrigleyville.
Yeah.
So that's where the after party. So I got there at the beginning of the after party. So I was there to walk on stage with Prince because when they let me in, they took me to Prince's dressing room, the
Yeah.
green room where the band was. You know, like in Purple Rain, everybody
Yeah.
just in there.
Yeah.
You know, the band, him. But it was two other people in there that I was surprised to see. It was Macy Gray and
Hmm.
Common. Common and Macy Gray was in the green room. So soon as I walked in, Prince told everybody, he said, "There he is, right there. Let's go." Like, and Common was
Like,
like, "Dude, we was yeah, like they
like he
was
was
waiting on
waiting
me,
on
you know."
you. Yeah.
Like Prince got the word that I'm on my way there, and when I got there, Prince was like, "All right, there he is. Let's go." Then we all got up and we walked towards the stage because Common said to me, he said, "Man, dude, we was waiting on you. I didn't know it was you." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Man." I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "I hung out with him at his house, man. He real cool." And Common was like, "Yeah, this is my first time meeting him, man. I'm excited." You know, so that was Common first time meeting him.
Yeah.
So when we went out onto the stage at the Metro, the crowd explodes. They
Of
going
course.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
Prince. And Macy Gray was doing. Prince didn't sing anything. Prince was just playing at his concert. Him and his band just have jam sessions. So it was really like another concert. But Macy Gray was singing all the Prince songs. Okay,
Mm.
so and that it was so phenomenal because Macy got that real distinctive
Raspy.
voice
Yeah. Oh
and
my
doing Prince
gosh.
covers with
Yeah.
Prince and his band playing behind. Oh, it was great. Then Common went up and started freestyling to the band, you know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they did. That's when Common's song "The Light" was very on the radio.
Yeah. So
You remember
that's
the
what.
light?
Yeah, I do. I remember when it came out. Yes.
So they did the light while Prince was saying the hook. Prince the one saying the hook to the light as Common was performing. So it was
Oh my
phenomenal.
God.
Then Prince turned to me while I'm standing on stage in
Oh
the
Lord.
background. He turned to me, tell me to get on the microphone.
Oh
I'm
Lord.
like, what you want me to do, bro? He's like, just go to the mic.
Uh huh.
So I go to the microphone and they playing music playing, and I started doing "I'm in Love with a Crackhead."
Uh
So when I started doing "I'm in Love with a Crackhead," now everybody in the audience like they eyes glowing up like, I know
yeah.
this dude. I seen
Yeah.
him. I heard this
Yeah.
before, you know.
Yeah.
And these are none of our people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was probably
Mm-hmm.
like a couple of our people sprinkled around,
Yeah.
but it was like really none of our people there. And these people would recognize me from that. And they like, oh, so I did that. And Prince stood beside me and played the guitar while I was doing "I'm in Love with a Crackhead."
That had.
So
Did anybody film this? Because
no one filmed it. This was year
man,
2000.
yeah, I
This
know.
before camera phones got
Yep.
big.
Yep.
They wasn't having no camcorders, no cameras in the Prince concert at all.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so the thing is, after that, but you know what's so crazy? This is the thing, and my friend pulled this up and sent it to me. He went on to the Metro's website and pulled up that date. and
Oh,
they have a song, they have the song list of every song performed that night, you know, and
and
they got
yours is
everybody
listed?
title who they got I'm in love with a crackhead on there.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So you got Prince, you got if I was your girlfriend when doves cry,
Yeah.
kiss, then I'm in love with a crackhead.
It's still up there right
It's still up there. I actually have it. I got a screenshot of it,
now?
and I
Yeah, you
have it.
better.
When I get off the phone with you, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send.
Please.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's the whole lineup of the songs
Yeah.
that was done that night. So
Yeah.
I know the Metro has it. I know they have that on film. I know
Yeah.
they recorded that show. Had
Yeah.
to, you know. And like I
Wow.
said, and I was the only one on stage in jeans and a t-shirt. I had like a Wild Hundreds t-shirt on with my jeans and my gym shoes. And you know, Common was dating Erica Badu at the time,
Yeah, I
so he was
remember that.
dressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know how he was dressed all
Yeah.
eccentric like Andre 3000.
Very
Then you know
much so.
Macy Gray is Macy Gray.
Mm.
Macy Gray, the wild hair,
Yep.
you know, got her old eccentric look, and then Prince and his band. So I look like a sore thumb
Thug.
sticking out because I'm the only one in like jeans and t-shirt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else got sequins on and all this, you know, it's glitter. And I'm
Ruffles.
like, right, you know what I'm saying? And everybody like, who this dude? So when I finally get on the microphone and do I'm in love with a crackhead, everyone figured it out. Like, oh, that's who that is.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
Yeah,
man, that's
but it's
classic.
listed. I'm gonna send you the list of the screenshot of the songs
Wow. I
that
am
I'm listed on. But
I thought I was proud before, but man.
then that's my proudest moment. And at that point, that was 19. No, I'm sorry, that was 2001. So that was my 10-year anniversary in stand up comedy. So that
Mhm.
there, which was November, I started in 1991 on Black Friday in November. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when that happened, I think that was a week before my 10-year anniversary of stand up comedy. And that was one of my proudest moments in my career.
Wow. And you said
Kicking it with
1991 for
Prince.
Black Friday. So that was when Black Friday just started. Because
Probably.
yeah, because I'm thinking, wow, I started doing Black Friday when it first came out. But man, Prince, you've been with
Yeah.
everybody. And I know
Yeah.
obviously when
Oh
he
yeah.
passed away, I know it broke your heart.
It broke my heart because not only that, when he passed away, the night before was 420, right?
Mm-hmm.
420, and 420 is the marijuana weed holiday.
Right.
And I was indulging that night. I was like, you know, I'm gonna celebrate 420 and watch Graffiti Bridge, you know. Graffiti
Okay,
Bridge,
right.
Prince's last movie.
Yeah.
And when I watched it, I enjoyed it. I watched it under the influence of marijuana, just like you know, you're hearing that music, you know, you like your mind absorbs a lot when you smoke and you know you can see the colors and everything. It was a good experience watching this movie, and I'm watching it, and I've seen
Okay.
it plenty of times. But the first time watching it high was amazing.
Yeah.
And then the very next day, April 21st, the next
Mhm.
day, they announced his death.
And you were in disbelief, I'm sure.
I basically like I couldn't believe it. I was really in disbelief because I just watched the movie the night
Yeah.
before. That's
Yeah.
what I chose to do and chose to watch. I'm a
Yeah.
movie buff. I love watching movies.
Yeah, me too.
So that was the movie. That was the movie choice. So it was the irony of it that was for
Mm.
me. You know,
Mhm.
like wow, for me to watch Graffiti Bridge and then get the announcement he passed. So I really
Mm.
felt hurt because I felt that I lost a friend
Yeah.
because if you
Because
hang
he
out with
waited for
Prince,
you. He waited for
yeah,
you. And
yeah,
you
and
did lose a friend. Yeah.
if you hang out with Prince more than one time, you consider the friend now. You know, if you
Mhm.
like, you got to hang out with Prince twice.
Yeah.
Yes, man, you his friend. You know, and brother Jules did invite me to another concert that I couldn't make it because Prince asked him about me. Like, yo, like he called me a crackhead. He was like, what a crackhead, man.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
right? Well, I'm in love with a crackhead. He's called me I'm in love with a crackhead,
Yeah.
and I couldn't make it. He wanted me to come to a concert that he's having in L.A. that I
Yeah.
couldn't make.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that hurt.
Do you still keep in touch with Jules?
I just and Jules passed away during COVID.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he didn't make it out of COVID, and it's
Wait, did you
that's
just
sad.
say that right before I asked?
No, no,
Okay, because I'm like, no, I hope I didn't ask something that you already said, because that's just rude.
no, no.
Okay,
I didn't. Nope, I
okay.
didn't. I didn't mention that. But we lost him during COVID. That hurt. That was. Hey, I lost. Which I'm sure a lot of people did, but I've lost a lot of people during the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
During COVID. So it's like I said, life is just looked at different from a different
Yeah, it
perspective on
is.
me. Just the way I look at death now, the way I look at
Mm-hmm.
everything now.
Yeah,
It's just like it's just different. You
yeah.
know.
I'm at a point where I want, and I've said this many times, I want the rest of my life to be just that, rest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to float. Okay. Well, I don't want to be a ghost, but I want to float. You know what I'm saying? I really want to I want to
Yeah.
relax. I want my stuff
Yeah.
together. I want the people around me to be for me and not plotting against me. I don't want people to use intimate information that they have on me or about me against me. I
Yeah.
mean, these things that you just kind of outgrow that. You know what I'm saying? And the
You
more
do. You
people
do.
see you, the more people see you, the more they start thinking, how can I destroy their life? And it's just like, wow,
Yeah.
you don't have anything better to do. So I always pray to God for peace, tranquility. I
Yes.
ask him to surround me with positive people. That's all I'm interested in. That's it.
And
So I
and you
feel you.
should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where when you change your whole mindset and understanding,
Mm-hmm.
you won't even be uh you won't even be on the same frequency as a
Right.
lot of low vibrated people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
therefore, we live in Chicago and everybody say, man, Chicago, wow, be okay in them streets. I'm like, yo, that stuff ain't around me because
Me
I
either.
vibrate on a higher level. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like I don't fear that because I'm at a high frequency and all that is low vibrated people who deal with that negative people, the whole nine. That's who get caught up in that web. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But if you hear, all that stuff bypass you, you avoid all that stuff.
Yeah. You ever go
So you
somewhere?
really got to stay positive.
You ever go somewhere and somebody says, "So where are you from?" And you go Chicago, and they go, "Ooh."
Yeah, exactly.
And I go, What? I said, "Oh, you've been watching the news."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I said, "That's newsworthy, but we got a lot of positivity in Chicago. It's a beautiful city. It really
It's very,
is."
yeah, very much so, very much so. It's just being from Chicago, you know where to go, where not to go.
Exactly. I ain't going
You
in
know,
certain areas. So,
yeah.
yeah, you'd be
I
like,
mean,
so.
and you got options to go wherever, like you say. If you want to go to Walmart, you got multiple Walmarts to choose from. You ain't got to go to the Walmart in the area where it's sketchy at. You
Right.
go, but even the places that's not sketchy, that hasn't been sketchy, are the ones that's been getting hit.
Yeah.
Because those people been off guard all their basically for the past few decades where they think it's sweet where it's like, yo, I don't have to watch my back. That's why a lot of the crime is happening up north now, Lincoln Park and
Yeah.
all them areas now, because the Gold Coast downtown, because they never been on watch like that. They never
Yeah.
had to.
And,
You from the
and
neighborhood, you from the hood, your head on the swivel. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah.
always on alert.
Yeah,
You
my
know?
mother my mother raised me to put my head on the swivel. Like she would be looking in her purse for the keys and we in the car and I'll be looking with her like she's looking for him and she's like, "What are you looking at? Somebody can take our head off." That never left me. Like
Yeah.
so I don't care if I'm in Chinatown, Greek town, I don't care. Wherever
Yep.
I'm at, I'm like this. I'm like this. I make sure my
Exactly.
wig is on tight though, because one time. But I honestly think that you absorb you get the energy that you put out. I'm just not
Very much
interested.
true.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, you put a force field around yourself, like
Yeah,
you inside this bubble that no one can penetrate because you're just so full of light and positivity. And once you
yeah.
moving like that in the light, no darkness can come around you, and that's just what it is, and that's
I'm
what I
glad
truly
you said
believe and
it.
I truly feel.
Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
you said it because I usually walk in sketchy neighborhoods and with a smile on my face. Nobody bothers
Oh
me.
yeah.
I'm always
Yeah.
like, "Hey, how you doing?" They be like, "Oh,
Uh huh.
okay."
But But like I said, and if you move at your own pace, like
Yeah.
you was just saying, how you just want to flow in life and stuff like that, you have
Yeah.
to just move at your own pace because when you try to rush and beat time or
Yeah.
rush things, you're gonna encounter something that wasn't your timing to encounter.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for instance, like you rushing out the house to get somewhere and you driving and you speeding down traffic, and then next thing you know, there's a collision right there. You were involved with a collision, but
Right.
if you would have took your time and went at your pace, that probably could have missed you 2 or 3 minutes before you got to that point.
Yeah, I always say God will
So
slow you down to protect you. I don't even
exactly.
if there's traffic, I'm not going, dang, I'm going, okay.
Yep. Yep.
I'm not supposed to be in that mess. You know.
Man, there's no rushing at all, man. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
And I look at that at everything in life. That's your career, everything. Just move it at your pace and just be patient.
I
It's gonna
love it.
come.
I love
You
it.
know.
Well, you know what? Y'all give it up. And you know what I'm gonna say? Y'all give it up for our guest tonight. And here's the thing. I don't feel like you were just a guest, even though we have not been in touch, right? I feel like I had a friend on here, okay? Live broadcast will end
Man,
in
LaDonna,
6 seconds. It's
we just
about to
go too
end.
far back. We go way back.
You know what?
I think I did I think I did your first interview when you had before podcast was even popular. You were doing like interviews back then
Yeah.
when you were over there on you was in the lofts over there.
Yep. Yep.
Um right,
Yep.
on Canal
On
somewhere.
Canal. Yep.
Ne-
You did come there.
Yeah.
You did come there.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
was there with you.
Oh
You've been
my
doing this
God.
for a very long time.
I
You've been doing this for a
have.
very long time.
I
And
have.
now and like I said, you were always ahead of your time because you were like only one of the few doing this then before internet became what it is.
Yep.
So I'm very proud of you and seeing you in your element right now
I
and
really
getting
appreciate
everything
that.
that you deserve because this is your platform. This is what you do.
I
And you've been
appreciate
doing
that.
it.
Yeah. I
So yeah, this
appreciate
is
that.
great.
I forgot about that. Man, thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, y'all give it up. Look, everybody clap for my friend and my guest, B. Cole from Chicago, comedian, film producer, director, writer, overcomer, overachiever. You name
Yes.
B. Cole for freaking alderman.
and, and join me on all Instagram, on Facebook, all social media platforms. Be Cold Comedian. Join me on there. You know I'm old. I say join me. Don't follow me. Join me.
Join me.
I'm too. I'm too old to be followed.
Yeah.
Just join me. Join
Yeah,
me on there. I don't.
I see I see the gray, I see a little gray there.
You see that? Yes.
I see a little gray there. Yeah.
It's
But
there.
yeah,
It's there. It ain't going nowhere. It
I
ain't going
hid
nowhere.
I hid mine with a little yeah. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Hey, it's okay. It's what it is.
All right, V. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This is long
Thank you
away.
for having me, LaDonna.
I'm starting to feel like Shay Shay. He asked Cat Williams to come about like a year ago, and then he came on. I feel like I asked you about 3 years ago, and you came. I mean, and we're at 2 hours, like Cat Williams. I mean, I feel look at
That's
the
that's
correlation there.
but here the crazy thing, that's how hard I've been working
I
and just
know.
moving, just
Yeah,
like man, my head just been to the ground, just and then working on myself as well. Like I said, I just went into isolation and just just starting to just work on me.
I
You
know.
know,
I know.
so I'm ready for 2024 and everything is gotten for me. So I know something's great coming ahead, and I will
Yes.
keep you updated of what's going on. And
Thank
I am
you.
gonna send you that. I'm gonna send you that song list with me and Prince, so you can see that as well.
Yes, please do.
Maybe you could post it up. Maybe you could post it up and show your viewers,
I
like, yo,
will.
this is what he was talking about right here.
Yeah, absolutely I will. You send it to me and I'll put it up. Thank
Awesome.
you. All right,
All
y'all.
right.
One more time. Thank you so much. Wow, you know what we do when it comes to our guests. When they come to the LaDonna Raeh Show, it is time to put them on the show, make them feel comfortable, and have a conversation. This was priceless for me because number one, I just remember working with B Cole on a little skit we did. We were co-hosting a poetry set, and we did this skit. It was crazy, and everybody cracked up. And it kind of gave me my funny element at that time. So I shout out to B Cole and everyone who ever supported him. anybody who, truly knows his talent, you're blessed to know what you're a fan of, or who you're a fan of, I should say. So I want to make sure that you guys know that we have an extra special lineup for tomorrow and Monday, Tuesday, just throughout the week. It's just going to be a fantastic or grandtastic time right here on the LaDonna Raeh Show. I know I can't believe we talked that long. I was only slotted for 30 minutes, but we went 2 hours. Man, I want to thank you for watching. If you watched it once, watch it again. There's some very good information in there, so you know what has been going on with B. Cole and some other people that he was talking about. Just his meeting with Prince and him being on the song list. Man, I'm just so proud of him. Wow. Well, that's what happens when you're from Chicago. I'm going to let you guys go. Get you some rest, all right? Take it easy. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and always look in the mirror and say, I love you to yourself. And I'm your host. I'm out of here, LaDonna Raeh, on the LaDonna Raeh Show. Make sure you subscribe. Okay, subscribe, share, comment, all that fun stuff. Thank you, everyone who made comments and shared and subscribed. Gotcha. All right, I'll see you next time on the LaDonna Raeh Show. Bye-bye for now.